Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans, and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin Out on WYES.
Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hello, Miss Peg.
From the Yes Cafe. Hello. Susan Larson, she's back. Yay! In the middle of Bourbon Street, apparently, right now.
I like it. Thank you.
Host, creator, yes, of The Reading Life. Also heard weekly on WWNO Radio. Hey, Susan, welcome.
Okay.
And Alan Smason of TheaterCriticism.com and the Crescent City Jewish News. Hey, Alan. And later on, we'll have excerpts from an interview with Academy and Tony Award winner John Patrick Shanley, part of the virtual Tennessee Williams Festival this weekend. Poppy, that Ralph's in the Park's always got something good going on.
Oh, my goodness. What a bargain this is. You know, they've been having these very popular Wednesday curbside pickup steak nights. So they've got a new one now, and it's only $19 per person for the steak dinner. It includes, it's a beautiful filet with garlic whipped potatoes, roasted shiitakes, and Brussels sprouts. And now here's what's incredible. So it's $19 either in the dining room or for curbside pickup. So that's a bargain on, can you imagine, Wednesday nights on the balcony at Ralph's in this beautiful spring weather with the azaleas blooming in City Park? So, you know, those people at the Ralph Brennan Restaurant Group, they are just working to keep things rolling. And now they've come up with what they're calling a chocolate smash Easter egg. This is the ultimate centerpiece for your Easter dinner. It's only $22. They're making these in-house. And what's really cool is you crack them open, and inside there's jelly beans, malted milk eggs, mini chocolate bunnies. Just $22 for this treat, and you can pick them up on Saturday, the day before Easter, April the 3rd, between 3 and 5 p.m. You just have to order in advance. And then Easter, the choices are fantastic. For $75, you can have dinner for two. You have to order by next Thursday, and that includes chicken andouille gumbo, asparagus salad, a roasted beef tenderloin with fingerling potatoes and cauliflower au gratin. And did you see that little teeny lemon dobosh cake for two? And there are reservations available at all of Ralph's restaurants. 3 courses for Easter dining, $65 at Brennan's, $55 at Ralph's, and $35 at the Redfish Grill.
Sounds great to me. Thank you. And Ralph's is so easy to park. That's the other thing I really like, especially about that.
Yes,
Thank you, Poppy. And moving over to Susan, the Tennessee Williams Festival, the 35th annual. Alas, it has to be virtual, but that didn't stop a lot of hardworking people. Huh?
Well, I have my heart on my heart here for Tennessee today. But one of the great things about having this festival be virtual is that it's almost 24/7, and you don't have to make those tough, choices. Do I go here or do I go there? Or I don't want to miss this. So now you can look at a picture, as you will shortly, of Kalamu Salaam and one of our great rising star poets, Skye Jackson. And those two are going to be having a discussion, I Am New Orleans, Poets Reflect on the City. And they are having that discussion right now, but you can catch up with it later. So that's part of the glory of having a virtual festival. And another wonderful thing that it's done for us is enable us to pull great programming from our previous years and the archives we've developed of wonderful visitors who come to New Orleans for the festival. So at 10 o'clock on Friday, there will be a panel from the 2007 festival about Tennessee Williams archives featuring John Waters, who has very strong opinions about Williams' memoir, and David Kaplan, Kenneth Holditch, and Thomas Keith. And I remember being there in 2007 for that panel, and it was a keeper, so you'll really enjoy that. And then, following up, something new. We'll have Brian Batt talking Tennessee with Kenneth Holditch. That's at 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And it's so interesting to think of these two bringing their different perspectives on Tennessee. Brian is a performer, Kenneth of long acquaintance and a scholar, and I think that's going to be something really interesting. And then that evening, Friday evening, the celebrity reading, drawing on Tennessee's experience and love of New Orleans with people like Alan Cumming, Brenda Curran, Amy Grant, Blair Underwood, Mink Stoll, and many others. And then Saturday afternoon, Augustin J. Carrero, whose new book is Tennessee 101, live streams from the parlor of Tennessee Williams' first home in Columbus, Mississippi. So you'll get to see, the actual house where Tennessee lived. And then later on at 7 o'clock on Saturday, you'll get to see Mo Rocca and John Pope talk about obituaries. Mo, as you know, is the author of Mobituaries, and John Pope, Getting Off at Elysian Fields. So they have a lot of things to say about how to get the best last word. So that's the beginning of Tennessee Williams. You check it all out on TennesseeWilliams.net.
All right. We look forward to hearing more from you in just a little bit. Thank you, Susan. And if you enjoy the film Moonstruck and were moved by the play and movie Doubt, you've experienced the genius of John Patrick Shanley. In the first of 2 excerpts tonight, he talks about his fascination for the moon and what it was like to win the Academy Award for his 1987 screenplay, Moonstruck.
I was a kid in the Bronx, and at night, and the Bronx is not as built up as Manhattan. So the night sky, and also this was earlier, this was, like in 1960 when I was 10 years old, the night sky was much more dramatic because there wasn't as many lights on the ground. And when the moon came out, it was kind of an incredible event. And it, which something that I learned later when I was trying to understand this powerful emotion that I had connected to the moon, was that the moon was a busted off piece of the earth that had, if you want, tried to escape, but had been trapped in orbit around us ever since, in a kind of unrequited relationship where it can neither leave nor fully come home. Winning an award is just fun. If you can get into it. And I did. I was fortunate in that. A lot of people go up there and you have to spend, in show business, you have to spend your whole life defending yourself, against terrible disappointment, which is what you have to experience most of the time, things like that. And when I walked up on stage and I turned and I got kissed by Audrey Hepburn and hugged by Gregory Peck, handed the statue, and I turned around and there was every famous person I'd ever seen. And I thought, a voice came into my head, and I've always been grateful for it. It said, let this in. Let this good thing in. And I put down my sword and shield and I let it in. And so I experienced the happiness of the momentary acceptance that an award provides. And then you go back to real life.
And in the interview, yes, we talk about Cher and other cast members of Moonstruck and some of the more famous lines. I have friends who quote from it all the time. And speaking of Tennessee, though, back to Tennessee. Alan, you're talking Tennessee.
Well, yeah, but first I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to some locals, because those of you who hadn't heard, New Orleans was very well represented at the recent London Film Festival. Garden District was in competition that Rosary O'Neill had penned, and it came away with top honors not only for the film as Best Short Film, but also for Brian Batt, who played one of the two brothers in the drama. He was named co-winner for Best Leading Actor in a Short Film, along with Barrett O'Brien, who we see here, again also nominated but did not win, was our very own Janet Shea as the matriarch of the family. Rosary, who we see here with her daughter Rory O'Neill and her sister on the end there, and Major Backer, who is a cousin in the film. You may recognize him for the Parkway Bakery, are all seen here. Rory there, and they all had a wonderful time promoting this. And again, a shout out also to local actors, Kelly Lynn, who played in the drama as well.
That's Jay Nix. I didn't realize they were related.
Yeah, let me just tell you that there's a potential that this may become a major series or film. Meanwhile, Leslie Castay got to use her directorial skills lately for This Property's Condemned, the one act by Tennessee Williams, and also Talk to Me and Like the Rain and Let Me Listen, directed by Joanna Russo. That's being put on by the Le Petit Theater. It's free. Of course, they would appreciate a donation if you can. And again, speaking of Tennessee, a reminder that the Felt Menagerie begins streaming tomorrow night. That's a puppet show, of course, and it's being put on by the Tennessee Williams Theater Company in New Orleans. It's get your tickets from there, not from the TennesseeWilliams.net site. That again, for the sublime, I guess you might say, to the ridiculous there. Let's take a look also about Malik Pancholi. This is the guy that you may remember from 30 Rock or Weeds. He is going to be a one-man show doing 42 different characters that he'll channel in Fully Committed. This is a virtual presentation from the George Street Playhouse in New Jersey. You can stream it directly into your home for just $33, and if it's as good as Bad Dates was last time, you should definitely check that out. So much for the virtual, though. Coming up in April, believe it or not, we're going to have an actual opportunity to sit in a theater and an actual performing space. Elizabeth Pearce here will be telling us all about Rum and World War II at BB Stage Door Canteen, April 9th, $50, but you get 3 rum tastings with that. And also that same night, April 9th, Peggy, is a night at the Opera with the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. This is going to be at the Orpheum, virtual concert, $15, and that's followed by Giancarlo Minotti's The Medium with local talents Sarah Jane McMahon, Amy Frimmer, Victoria Levengood, and Dennis Jesse. That'll be $40, again, a bargain.
All right, thank you so much. And back to Poppy with some really good news.
Really big news. Now, Peggy, last week when we celebrated the big 35th Steppin' Out anniversary, one of the things you and I reminisced about was that fabulous wine bar, Flagons. Remember Flagons? Well, I'll tell you what. Everything old is new again. And last night, a new place opened up on Girard Street down in the CBD. It's called Pluck. And it is right there on Girard. It's like right out the back door of Herb Saint, but it's not Herb Saint. This is Skye LaTorre, and if you don't know her, you need to get to know her. She is a longtime sommelier who has worked both in New Orleans and New York City. Maybe you might remember her as the sommelier at Emerald's Delmonico back in the early days there. She's got 250 wines to choose from, and there are about a half dozen beers if you're not a wine drinker. 20 are available by the glass, but oh my goodness, Peggy, the food. Now, the food pictures that I have don't really represent what they were serving last night. The chef is Heathcliff Haley. Can I say, remember Mimi's in the Marinee? Remember those lamb chops? Well, Heathcliff has finally gotten a spot worthy of his incredible food. Goat cheese croquettes, frog legs, quail, shrimp pastis. Everything on this menu is less than $20, okay? Look at the quail, oh my goodness. It is just like walking into a fabulous wine bistro in France. It's very French, and you know what a France lover I am. The interiors are beautiful. There's great lighting in there. There's a little mini marketplace with wines and provisions to go. They're very, very big on locally sourced ingredients, so they're really supporting all of our food producers down here. And bravo to Skye LaTorre. Go meet her, Peggy. You're going to love her.
I will, and I'm into lighting. I can't wait. Thank you. Back to Susan, Miss Susan.
Oh, so much we have to tell it twice. We try to have in this festival a little bit of everything. So one of our things I'm looking forward to a lot is speaking truth to power about journalism in these difficult days we live in. And this will be a discussion by the winners of the Ron Ridenour Prizes, founded by Randy Fertel several years ago, honoring the truth-telling journalist who broke the story of the My Lai massacre. And this will be a panel discussion with this year's winners, Eliza Griswold, Lauren Markham, Heather Ann Thompson, and then, of course, Randy Fertel will moderate that discussion. And then on Sunday, there's a series that no one could resist, Southern Storytellers on Sunday. At 11 o'clock, Rick Bragg will talk about his latest collection of his articles called Where I Come From, More Great Southern Stories, and he'll be talking with his good New Orleans friend, Terry Troncalli. And then at noon, Lady Hubbard will talk about her wonderful second novel, The Rib King, and she'll be interviewed by novelist Morgan Bast, author of The Floating World. And then at 1, M.O. Walsh, whose new book, The Big Door Prize, is named for the John Prine song. M.O. he's the head of the creative writing program here at UNO, and he'll be interviewed by one of his former students, James A. Jordan, which should be a really sweet moment, and you'll learn a lot about John Prine. And then at 4:30, we'll present the Diana Pinkley Prizes for crime writing to Angie Kim for her first novel, The Miracle Creek, to Emma Copley Eisenberg for her true crime story. That's a new prize this year that is called The Third Rainbow Girl. And then New Orleanian C.S. Harris gets the Body of Work Prize for her distinguished body of work. And we know that those prizes honor Diana Pinkley, longtime writer for the Times-Picayune, and book page, of course, and also a great community activist.
And a very sweet lady. We miss her.
We do
so
indeed.
Much. Thank you, Susan.
Thanks.
And now, back to John Patrick Shanley, talking about his admiration for the works of Tennessee Williams and his love of New Orleans.
It's sort of like the solar system, like, do you love Saturn more than Pluto? It's this spectacular range of Williams' work that is one of the most ongoing, inspiring things about his playwriting career. I certainly love The Rose Tattoo and Sweet Bird of Youth and the obvious, Streetcar and the Glass Menagerie, which is, the last time I saw the Glass Menagerie, afterwards I said, I'm not sure I can see that play again. And my friend said, why? I said, because literally every line is famous. Every line of the play is famous. Who ever even heard of such a thing? But, and deservedly so. He's, celebrating, among other things, certainly New Orleans and the Sicilian culture that settled near New Orleans, around New Orleans, but in a time when there were such vibrant cultures. One of the reasons that I'm so fond of New Orleans is because they still have a culture. I'm not sure how they managed it, but there's really kind of no place else like it. And no one has ever successfully turned it into Disneyland. It is still New Orleans. When playwrights, we thrive on specificity, like what makes this place different than that place. And with the mass media, what television did to the homogenization of the culture, what malls and big box stores have done to the sameness that's all around us, the importance of being specifically somebody and having a specific way of talking and looking at things is ever more precious. And one of the things that Williams did was he created a living gallery of characters that will endure forever and keep alive things that otherwise would have been swept away. And so it can't be overestimated what he did for world culture by capturing in these incredibly sparkling, expansive spheres these groups of people, these ways of speaking, these ways of thinking. I adore him.
And we adore Mr. Shanley. You can see the entire interview free on Saturday. That's at 11 a.m. It'll be up, we think, for a few days, but try to see it if you can live. But if not, go to TennesseeWilliams.net. He talks about, by the way, how the original screenplay for Moonstruck was written for Sally Field. He also talks about the play and the film Doubt and growing up Catholic. Now, back to Alan.
Well, speaking of Tennessee, we're going to continue that theme. Tomorrow night on the NOLA Theater Talk Show, we have a true birthday gift to Tennessee Williams. But before that, I want to encourage everybody to go check out Augustin J. Carrera. We talked about his book, Tennessee 101, that Susan had mentioned earlier, on an interview with him on Monday night. And it's up on the YouTube site. You can see it on Facebook on the two sites. But we're celebrating Tennessee's birthday tomorrow. And what better gift than to have several local actors do some readings. We're going to have Catherine Talbot and Tracy Norwood do some individual scenes, and then they're going to both get together in a dialogue from A Streetcar Named Desire. And then 3 Harvard students who are currently quarantining in England will be discussing a film they made while at Harvard last year, which is an abridged version of The Glass Menagerie. And here's the kicker, it's done with miniatures. Absolutely. And so, of course, The Glass Menagerie deals with miniatures. They didn't go there, but what they do use is the actual faces of one of the actors. But it's just a wonderful little work, and I think everybody will have a joy. About 20 minutes long and about 20 minutes or so for the interviews that we did as well. You can see it on NOLA Theater Talk, on the folk Facebook group that we have for NOLA Theater Folk, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, and my own YouTube channel. And don't forget, by the way, Brian Sands, who is now fundraising for Covenant House as he bicycles, will be interviewing John Cameron Mitchell of Hedwig and the Angry Inch on Saturday evening, and it's free. Just check it all out at TennesseeWilliams.net. Finally, Peggy, Ashley Spencer, who was a guest along with her husband, Jeremy Jordan, when he had an appearance on Seth's concert series, she'll be back on Sunday with a guest of her very own. She'll be appearing with her husband's female lead from Newsies, Kara Lindsay. I got to meet Kara after Newsies in 2012. She has a magnificent voice, and I just can't wait to hear the two of them perform together. That's this weekend on the Seth concert series at 2 p.m. live with a repeat at 7 p.m. If you want to see the rehearsal, you can become a VIP and get those tickets as well. Check it out.
Thank you so much. Now time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Well, everybody has 2 chances to join me in my kitchen this weekend. Tomorrow night, we're going to be exploring the taste of flavor with a fish frying class that's free from Louisiana Fish Fry. And then on Sunday morning at 10 a.m., T. Martin and I will be discussing the New Orleans Jazz Brunch. I'm going to be doing a little cooking. I think she might be making us some cocktails. It's going to be a lively discussion, and I hope everybody joins us.
All right, Susan.
If you need a good time, go to the internet, go to the Tennessee Williams Festival Facebook YouTube channel, and watch the shot heard round the world on the YouTube page. It will make you so, so happy.
Yeah.
And let's make it go viral. And then on Thursday, April 1st, the New Orleans Poetry Festival and Small Press Book Fair starts with free poetry events during the entire month of April. The schedule is nolapoetry.com.
All right, thank you. Alan.
Peggy, I'm always looking for a good deal. How's this? 2-time Tony Award winner, 91-year-old John Cullum, the star of On a Clear Day You Can See Forever, Shenandoah, 1776, Urinetown, and the Scottsboro Boys will be streaming a show titled An Accidental Star from April the 8th through the 22nd. And the best part about it, it's free, of course, at the Vineyard Theater. Check it out. You can see it at vineyardtheater.org, An Accidental Star.
All right, thank you.
I'll see you at the theater.
Okie dokie. Now, my picks. Last Friday was St. Joseph's Day, and St. Joseph's Church on Tulane Avenue continued the tradition of erecting altars of Lenten foodstuffs and thanks for favors granted and for being saved from an ancient famine. It's a Sicilian tradition that immigrants brought with them from the mother country, of course. Note the intricate bread designs. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And then over at St. Francis Xavier Church in Metairie, their altar featured the traditional cakes shaped like a lamb. I love that. And another beloved part of the altars are the cakes depicting saints. I was very touched by the pastries made with dried figs, especially this one with the dove motif. Father Damian Zablocki blessed the altar at Beauregard Kai's house, and that, of course, is located at 1113 Chartist in the quarter. Look at the intricate cookies. The area was once referred to as Little Palermo, that area in the quarter, and what with a large, of course, community of primarily Sicilian immigrants that once lived there. By the way, speaking of Beauregard Kai's, there's going to be an Easter egg hunt this Saturday, weather permitting, of course, but at Beauregard Kai's house, go to bkhouse.org for details. This Sunday from 10:30 a.m. to 3 p.m., another flea market at the Broadside. That has been so much fun. Many vendors and booths, headpieces, used books, ephemera, all kinds of things, food trucks, live music, beginning at noon, and once again, depending upon the weather. Next Wednesday, Chris Champagne will sign his new book about the NFL at the Chop Yard at 7 p.m. And before we go, in celebration of our 35th anniversary season, which we kicked off last week, here is the amazing Deacon John singing Memories, accompanied by Robert Dabon. This was from our 30th anniversary show.
Can it be that it was all so simple then? Oh, has time rewritten every line? And if we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories may be beautiful, but then what's too painful to remember? We simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember whenever we remember the way we were. Do 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 do.
We love you, Deacon John. We love you. And just a reminder, we've been talking about the Tennessee Weems Festival. We want to remind you, even though it's virtual, it's all the way through Sunday. Okay, once again, TennesseeWeems.net. Okay, y'all, we're going to yell Stella. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stella! Thank you all so much. And thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.
Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans, and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin Out on WYES.